Good evening from InvestSharp.com. This is Randy Smoto with your Thursday, January 13th market update. So we had a little bit of weakness in the market today, but not a whole lot. About as weak as the market has been of late. That's about all we get. So the euro was up big in dollar. As you can see, the dollar pulled back about 1%. I think the euro, big pop in the euro, we'll look at it here shortly, definitely helped prop up the market. So we had dollar, gold, silver, copper, and oil were all down today. Light sweet crude futures were down 46 cents to settle at $91.40 a barrel. So we're going to take a note. I'm not going to look at the point figure chart for light sweet crude. I mean, it hasn't changed all that much. We haven't moved all around all that much. So let's go take a look at the NASDAQ. It actually held up the best today. Well, I'll type it in. I'll look at it. So just a doji. Can't even hardly even see it. It's so tiny. So we wound up just being very neutral, buying and selling today. But it was only down 0.07% when all was said and done. By the end of the day, S&P was down 0.17%. So just resting for the most part. Russell was down 0.09%. Another doji. Not much of a anything, neutral. And the Dow was the weakest, and actually for the fourth day in a row. Of course, it was up yesterday, but it was still weaker than the Nasdaq, S&P, and the Russell. So it was the weakest, but it was only down 0.2%. And it broke out above this little downtrend line here yesterday, and we're still holding up. Got a little bounce here off of it. So. And of course, Intel earnings was beaten. It was up. So last I looked, I haven't looked at the futures here in the last, hour or so, but they were holding up really well. It had gone up just a slightly bit higher last I looked off of the Intel earnings. So let's take a look at gold. Look at GLD. So gold had some little bit of selling today. We're up around this the uptrend line where it broke down from. It's got some resistance up here. Not too surprised, and a little bit of selling on the gold ETF GLD. Silver ETF, SLV, definitely selling coming in. We didn't even make it, we didn't even really make it all the way back up here. I guess depends on how you draw it. If you draw it across the, like that, then we did. So, silver was definitely weak. Most of the commodities were weak. Copper, also down 1.75%. So it's pulling back. And the euro, talked about the euro, big pop on the euro, up 1.67%, right up into some prior trend line resistance. So we'll see what happens here, right? We've hit and we've hit and we've hit. So but a lot of volume coming in. So the euro looks like it probably wants to go higher, at least based on the volume, even though it is up against some resistance. And then the volatility index actually went up a whole 0.92% today. So not moving around much, still very, very low volatility, and options are, put options are still pretty cheap if you want to buy them to protect yourself on one of your positions. All right, so let's go take a look at, I'm not going to look at the McClellan oscillator either. The markets, we're moving so slowly that the McClellan oscillator is just staying very neutral, and it has been for some time, so it's still neutral. Let's go take a look at the sectors. So 6 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green. Industrial Transportation Index had a large percent gain, up a 0.5%, 0.5%. The gold index was the weakest for the second day in a row. Of course, it was up a little bit yesterday, but it was down 2.8% today. Get over to Chart Watch. Some of these we've been watching. Few new ideas. Akamai. Nice breakout here above this previous level. Had been having some resistance here. Volume coming back in. So one to watch. RIM did have a break higher, but now it is in a rising wedge. And we took profits actually on RIM today. We got in here and we took it off here today. So because it hit, right, hit. So it's got a little resistance here. And it may go breaking through it. It's got a lot of volume. RIM seemed like it wants to go higher. So, but I just wanted to, take some profits off the table, and plus the market was acting a little weak. So other than RIM early in the morning. But so keep your eye on it though, because like I said, it's a lot of strength there. Baidu, Baidu, just nice little doji string sideways. Looks good though, so watch for the next move higher over the highs. Sohu, it's another one that we actually took profits in today. We bought like right in here, and we went ahead and took our profits off today. And but it still looks fine. It's holding up fine, and a little volume coming in. And in fact, quite a few of the China stocks look pretty good today. CBI, Chicago Bridge and Iron, did break out, but then pull back. But still keep it on your radar. Still been really strong. Casinos still look good. MGM sideways action. Watch for the next breakout higher. Win, same thing. Just putting in some sideways action. Illumina breaking out today, breaking higher. Panel break higher today with some volume. QLogic, and Brian Kelly talked about this. I was been stalking it, and well, it hadn't popped too bad yet. Up 1.5%. You can't see it over here, but over here it's up 1.5% after hours since Brian Kelly touted it. But I do like the pattern. I've been kind of stalking it down here, right post earnings, all that volume coming in, but it's a little bit longer term, triangle here. Been building out for a while, so it is on my radar. UTech, Ultratech, big breakout above the downtrend line. Had some volume behind it as well. Here's a couple other. Oh my gosh, I got lines drawn everywhere. Didn't realize I had so many lines drawn here. Let's get rid of some of these lines. This has been consolidating, right, between the 78 and we'll call it about I don't know, up near 80, 79, 80. So pretty tight consolidation. So watch for the next move higher here on UTX. ROVI did actually take out this prior high just barely. A lot of volume coming back in. So if it takes out today's high and goes higher, you could jump on board for some few dollars there maybe. Probably, I don't know if you get a few dollars. You might get another dollar more out of it. I don't know. We'll just see. Nano, like this one. I like how it's been setting up in this ascending pattern, right? It had resistance here, and it's got volume come back in, so it looks like it's about ready to break out tomorrow. So watch that one in the morning. Sandridge Energy, a little oil driller, little inexpensive one, nice tight doji string. Keep an eye on that one. All the auto parts stuff's had big runs. Borg Warner, keep an eye on it just because it did hold its uptrend line today, right? So we'll see. It's got a lot of selling here from here to here, but see how it acts here. I wouldn't buy it, of course, unless it takes over, closes. Looks like it's going to close above this high or something like that. But it did hold the trend line, at least for now. So I'm kind of watching it as well. CRM looks good. Did take out the downtrend line. Little volume coming back in there too. On it. KBR, another one. Lots of volume over the last couple of days. Looks like it wants to go higher, but it needs to take out this high here of about 31.18. Some volume. Cat still stocking it, still going sideways. We have a few stocks been consolidating for quite some time. Cat's one of them. SLB. So this one's also been kind of bouncing back and forth, but it's got a lot of volume coming back in, and it looks like it wants to break higher. Rubicon Technologies, talked about this yesterday, did a breakout. Now it kind of went sideways today. A little bit of selling coming in, but I think that was just market weakness as well. Expedia. So Expedia, if you depending on how you draw the trend line, you touch here and here, had a break. You had all this volume, had a breakout. Then if you draw it across this here and here and here, right, then it did run into some resistance and close below this trend line. So, but looks like it wants to go higher. So keep it on your radar. FFIV looks good. Actually did make a new high. Not on a lot of volume though, but still, looking pretty good. VMware, it's kind of flagging out here. Still looks real strong after the big breakout out of that wedge. DEC still hanging out. It's not quite ready to go yet, but it's all right. It's looking okay. Held up well today. Quest Software. Another one that's just still not ready, but really tight. It does kind of little tight candles anyway, right? So it needs to take out this prior high here, and then actually it's got a prior high of 28.50, but still looks interesting. Not ready yet, but looks interesting. Marvell Tech broke out higher today. Talked about this one yesterday. BCR when it takes out the downtrend line, and actually take that away, it's right here. I don't even know if you can see it. It's such a tiny little candle. So real light volume in here after all this buying. So whenever it continues its trend, you can buy it. CLF holding up well after breaking out. Lots of volume on the breakout yesterday. Here's a couple of possible shorts, and they're not shorts yet, but possible. ANR, lots of selling over the last couple of days. And this has been really strong. But the trend line really isn't until way down here. And if it loses this 62.50, right, or it even could have some support right through here as well. But if there's some heavy selling, the market gets a pullback or something, you might consider this one. Is a little weak here, but it's been a real strong stock, so be careful. X has had selling as well, and it touched here, so it's right on the trend line for now, but it does a little weak here. So watch for a breakdown in it as well as possible short. So economic data on deck for tomorrow. First up, we're going to have the JP Morgan earnings out pre-market, so we'll get an idea of the banks. It is expected to beat by a few cents, so we'll see how that goes. But we'll get the monthly CPI tomorrow, Consumer Price Index. We're going to get the monthly retail sales. Both of those are at 8:30 a.m. Then we're going to get industrial production data at 9:15. Then the consumer sentiment at 9:55 a.m. And then business inventories at 10 a.m. Of course, that's all in Eastern time. So we have quite a bit of data out tomorrow, along with the JP Morgan financial earnings. All right. And that is it for today. So thanks for watching.